up in here. So, of course, in the studio.
Yes.
Our world-class performance strategist.
Yeah.
A man who wears many hats.
Yeah.
Of course, an author. And Dr. Abiola Salami.
You know, the
How
name.
far?
I read the idea.
Yeah.
You know when you say Abiola, the other guy who I knew was Masood Abiola.
Masood Abiola.
That's true. MKO Abiola.
Yes, MKU.
Okay.
So welcome, my brother. Of course, it's very good to have Dr. Abiola in the studio.
Thank you. It's great to be here and great to finally meet you in person after 3 years of chatting and talking.
Imagine, we plan and it never happens.
And live on air.
God's plan.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So what brings you to the city of Nairobi, Abiola?
Okay. Well, I will use an adjective before I mention the city Nairobi. What brings you to the beautiful city of Nairobi?
Yes.
So this is perhaps the fourth time coming here to Nairobi.
Yeah.
We've been talking even from the first time.
Yes.
The first time.
Yeah.
And it's a tour. It's a leadership tour. One of the things that is largely lacking, not just on our continent, but recent events has shown us in the world that leadership is lacking. And when we say leadership, many people think you're talking about people who are occupying positions. So when they hear leadership, they start to think of politics, the president, other political leaders. Yeah. And you realize that as our world continues to progress. By that progress, I'm saying as we're counting the numbers, we continue to see the leadership gap. We continue to see the complaints people have, whether it's in private sector, in public sector, even in governance, that people desire something better than the kind of leaders that they have because of the kind of leadership skills these leaders have. So this tour from West Africa to East Africa, it's a campaign around every one of us improving our skills so that we can lead better, so we can think better and lead better. As a radio host, you're a leader. As a husband, as a wife, you're a leader. Even if you just got into the marketplace today, if you're just starting work today, you're a leader too in your own right. So how do we ensure that you continue to perform excellently for a business, that you continue to grow your revenue without losing people, that you continue to retain your top customers without losing them, that you continue to, whatever you are investing in the business, that it's getting enough return without necessarily losing people. And that's what all this conversation is about.
And it's very interesting because I've seen that you've written a book, the Magic of Emotional Intelligence. Very interesting, because emotional intelligence is one of the key elements of leadership.
Yes.
Because you might be physically endowed, you might be academically brilliant, but if you lack emotional intelligence, then you would not know the nuts and bolts to touch to move an organization forward.
True words. One of my favorite quotes says that when dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but you are dealing with creatures of emotions, creatures who have prejudices and biases and are motivated by pride and vanity. When dealing with people, not necessarily other creatures. So whether the person is an engineer or the person studied aeronautic engineering or pure and applied mathematics or accounting or whatever, it's saying that the person you are dealing with is not just that intellectual person, IQ. It's someone with emotions, with prejudices, with biases, motivated by pride and vanity. So as a leader, how do you ensure that emotions doesn't get in the way of leadership? Another way to think about it, how do you ensure that your ego doesn't get in the way of your leadership? And when dealing with people, the first person you deal with is yourself.
Yes.
Because when people, it's easy to point finger and say, that person is wrong, or that person is not doing it well.
But you forget about yourself.
But you forget about yourself. And it's about putting the mirror in front of all of us, looking at the man and the woman in the mirror. Because when you look at the mirror, who do you see?
Yeah.
You see yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put the mic in front of any citizen, you know, in Nairobi today, and say, what do you think is the problem in this country? The most likely thing, the most likely thing the person will say, blame the president, blame the government, blame everybody. Whereas this person may not
blame himself.
He won't blame himself. He may not be doing what he's supposed to do. This person may, in
might
some
be
way,
a corrupt guy.
Exactly. In some way, you know, the person may not be doing proper sanitation where they are, but they will say, oh, the flood, the reason this flood is here is because the government should so. People don't take personal responsibility. Are we absolving the government of responsibility? No. We are saying all of us. You take personal responsibility, you take collective responsibility, and that's what this conversation is about.
So you and when you talk about the conversation, I've seen that you're saying the TPP East Africa Emerging Leaders Summit. It's on at Ole Sereni, and I can see you are one of the speakers this Saturday.
Yes.
So. As a performer, what are you going to execute in this meeting?
Great question. You know, we've been talking about leadership, and the way to measure whether you are leading well or not is your performance. And how do you lead under pressure? I mean, for example, I came into town a few days ago. I got to know about the fuel hike. You know, there was a protest, and that's pressure. And it will not end. Some time ago, there was something else. In future, there will be something else. These things, largely, we don't have control over them. You don't have control over, you know, whether there will be fuel hike. You don't have control over whatever other decision the government is making. But will it affect you as an individual? Yes. Will it affect your business? Yes. Most importantly, especially if you are a manager, a supervisor, you are leading a team, will it affect your team members? The answer is yes. So how do you lead and perform excellently and execute the strategy of your organization, even in the middle of the pressure? That is what the conversation is about. So how we are applying emotional intelligence to manage self, to manage people, to manage pressure, and still make sure that you are performing. You know, because a leader that is not sensitive is not a great leader. And again, when we say a leader, we are not talking about those sitting in high offices. Even on your desk, right? On your desk, you may be leading 3 people or 4 people. So now there's fuel hike, then somebody stays you know, some kilometers away from the office, and then the person is not earning as much. The person may need to come late, not because the person is a habitual latecomer, but there is a situation on ground. So it's important as the leader, you are sensitive enough so that you still continue to carry your people along. So those kind of conversations. And of course, I'm not the only one there that will be speaking.
I've seen.
Yes.
I've seen Anne Muraya.
Yes.
CEO Downlaod East Africa.
Yes.
Agnes Lutukai, Principal Apex View.
Yes.
And Pat Gumde.
Yes.
Enterprise Architect.
Yes.
So it seems to be a very highly charged and big group of individuals coming together to actually impact knowledge.
Yeah, and you know what we're doing with this?
Yeah.
We're blending East Africa and West Africa in one.
Yeah.
So those 4 speakers, there are 2 of us from West Africa, and the other 2 from East Africa. And we're saying that, you know what, let us all bring our knowledge together and help ourselves, you know, to grow. You know, many times, one of the things we don't do correctly on this continent is we believe wisdom comes from outside the continent.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of people, that's a stereotype.
We believe that, you know, wisdom comes from outside the continent. So if they say, oh, this thing was made, even if it's a product, they said made, so far you give a name that is outside the continent of Africa, people feel that, yes, it is superior, it is what to do, but we have a lot of value locally. We have a lot of value we bring not just to our continent, but to the world at large. And so part of what we are doing with this is recognizing the value that we create locally on the continent and spreading it within ourselves and exchanging ideas on how every one of us can get better.
A few years ago, there was a gentleman friend of mine who used to do a lot of talks. So it's called Pepe Minambo. Pepe went to Uganda. I will tell you, in Kenya, when he used to do these talks, KICC, Kenyatta International Conference Center, would be packed.
Yes, that's true.
And he had created a massive following on leadership and all these things. So I think there's a gap for me. It's only that many people who try, they put it only corporate. But the local people also have a role to play.
Yes.
Yeah. So we welcome you, of course. And,
Thank you.
It's always good for someone else to come with a different view, because what you view is probably what we cannot view at this time, because you might get it's like someone new in Rome. You might see new things. What we see as usual is not usual anyway. So I think it's wonderful to have you around. So,
Thank
but tell me, when did you write the book first, or how has your journey been in this field?
Great question. Great question.
Yeah.
You know, in 2012, that was when I embraced this as my full-time, lifetime work. Prior to that time, I'd worked in different industries. I was a banker. I'd worked in NGO. I'd worked in health insurance. I'd worked in IT. My final stop was I was a senior manager in a reputable IT firm back in Lagos. And I said, you know what? It's time to venture into this. I'd known that this is what I want to live my life to do, even in my penultimate year in the university, which was about 10 years before then. Because I always believed that every one of us on earth, that we didn't just drop, you know, from our mother's womb, you know, that there's a specific purpose, a specific reason, a specific problem that we've come to the world to solve. In fact, somebody said that there are two most important days in the life of every human being. The first day is your birthday, which we all celebrate. You know, some people get cakes on their birthdays. I know, gentlemen, you don't get anything on your birthdays.
We get socks.
You get socks. No, but that's on Valentine's Day. You probably get socks on Valentine's Day, but there's a lot of demands from you on those days. But we're not calling out anybody. We've not mentioned anybody's name. We're just having a conversation. All right, you know. So, but that the first important day is the day of your birth. The second important day is the day you discover why you were given birth to. And that's the place of purpose. And so for me, I was in university. I was the kind of guy that you describe as being multi-talented. I do music. You know, I do music, write songs, play the piano, do stage acting.
Just like me.
Yeah. Like you. if that is true.
People don't.
You know.
But actually, I'm seeing the mirror image when you talk about it.
Fantastic.
I just say that's me. Right there.
Fantastic. Now, but you know the thing about being multi-talented is that you can be multi-talented and multi-confused at the same time.
Yeah.
So
are you trying to say he's multi-confused?
No. No. So what I'm saying is what he has done over time, I guess, is to find a niche and to say, you know what, let me narrow down on this. And so from this, I will spread it, which is what I'm doing. Actually, by the way, I have 2 songs I released already this year. You know, in line with that.
Wow.
So all of that, fast forward to 2012, that I embraced this. And what is this about? This is about helping people to know better so they can think better and then do better. So when you introduce me as a world-class performance strategist, it's the place of doing better. But doing better is not automatic. You know better. You think better. And then you do better. So that led me into writing the book, The Magic of Emotional Intelligence, led me into authoring many other books. There are 2 books in the conversation this Saturday. There is The Magic of Emotional Intelligence, generally for leaders, and there is No More Shrinking for women in leadership.
That's great.
You know, and the goal is that we continue to create platforms to help people to know better, so they can think better and they can do better. Emotional intelligence, very powerful skill. You find out that a leader, this person has done very well in their career. Now this person is the CEO, but the person did not develop emotional intelligence skills. And then one day somebody asks a question somewhere, maybe it's in the media, and then the person opens their mouth to say what they are not supposed to say because of the way they were feeling, you know, and then all of a sudden things changed. I mean, we all remember some years ago, Will Smith and Chris Rock, that drama. Will Smith could have done
Just
it
kept quiet.
a little better, but because of lack of emotional intelligence. Somebody said I should send him a copy of the magic of. I didn't say it. The person said it.
You should send also
Actually,
to
he
Donald
should
Trump.
be sent no more shrinking.
You know,
Very
so
interesting.
that's why all of this. So writing the books, holding seminars, creating radio shows, creating TV shows, all of that I do back in Nigeria. It's to help people to know better, so they can think better and do better.
That's great because 14 years of experience in different sectors, in different organizations. Of course, that brings a lot of experience and knowledge in someone finding themselves. But I think the biggest question is with people with multiple skills. How do you start knowing that you're finding yourself, and then you need to narrow down all those skills and say, I'm going to focus on this one thing, because that's where people get lost. When do you realize that you need to find yourself, and then you need to narrow down all this thing and concentrate on one thing? Like you worked in different sectors, and then one day you said, okay, that's it, I'm done with this, even if I'm a senior in managerial position. So when do people need to know that you're finding yourself and you need to narrow down all these other things and other talents that you have and focus on one?
Great question. The beginning of it is realizing that focus creates blindness. Also, focus creates power. If you are divided into doing 5 things or 6 things, you can't be as powerful as if you focus on doing one. That's that realization. It's also to know, and this is not for everybody. This is for people who are actually multi-talented, and the delivery of that talent is on the same level of excellence. Because there are some people, yes, you are good at maybe music, for example, but you are not so good in school. So it's easy to just say, well, I'm not good in school, so let me concentrate on this. Right. So, but for people that you are very good at music, in doing music, you're very good academically, you're very good in conveying people. So it's important to remember that focus creates blindness. That's one, and focus creates power. 2 is that these talents are actually for a purpose. So it's not just for you to feel good about yourself that you're multi-talented. 3 is to understand the structure that you need to put in place to fully maximize this talent. There are many talented people in the world, but without structure, you can't go far. So it's to know that you need to put structure in place. And when we say structure, it means you need to take things one after the other. In my own experience, back in school, I was doing music, I was doing stage acting, I was one of the best in my class, doing all of that. And at some point in time, I thought, I need to narrow down. I need to narrow down on this thing, because so when I leave school, which of them do I really want to focus on? And then I went on a personal search. I mean, if you are religious, if you are non-religious, I believe that all of us, we have some voice that speaks to us, right? No matter your religion. Some people will call it conscience. Some religious people will use other names, to describe it. So there's that voice that speaks to you, that guides you. What happens for most of us, for many people rather, is that they shut down that voice and they just do what they want to do. That inner voice guides you. So in my own case, I thought, let me sit down and think. And I realized that all of this is to help people, like I said, to know better, to think better, to do better. So how do you now pace the talent? Which one will start paying your bills first? Because it's because you are eating food. That's why you can think of exploring talent. If you are hungry, we're having a conversation. If you are broke and hungry, that's when you are broke. That's when you are more hungry. I don't know if that's your experience.
That's true.
When you don't have money, that's why you are more hungry.
Too hungry.
So if you know that you need to meet your basic needs, so ask yourself first, what can I engage in that will earn me an income to meet my basic needs. But if your father is Dangote or any rich person, you may not listen to what I'm saying. But if you are people like some of us, if you are people like some of us, you need to listen, because you have to think about your rent, you know.
In order of priority.
You know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So first, your psychological needs, you need to make sure that you are meeting them. So it may not be your talent that will pay that bill, but you need to engage in a venture that will pay that bill, because that's what will make you stay alive and well, so that you can now explore the other bill, the other talents that you have. So I need to maybe one of the talents. For me, it was my intellectual talent. So that's why I found myself in banking, found myself in all these other places, and my oratory skills as well. And I was doing MC and all of that. But I knew that wasn't the end, right? That I still have something bigger in front. And so when I could now pay my bill, I could eat, so I could think a little bit better to further explore. So it's just to know that there's the evolution of talent, but you need to look for what will help you to pay your bills first. Or else
you'll be in trouble. But I think that's why it's a critical place where also people get lost, because sometimes people prioritize the wrong things. You might think it's a bills, and probably you rush for that one that's paying you some money, and you leave another one that could really get you out of the block. Like we say, you say this one is going to take you out of the block, and because it cannot be bills only.
No.
Because there are also other factors, including, that's why I wanted to tell you that we will not stay away from governance a lot, because we also see what is happening. Because you can be a very good manager, but the country you're in, the policies are not working right for you.
True.
And sometimes you pick the wrong priority, that hierarchy of
needs,
of things and deeds. So when you sleep and you find out that, okay, I picked this one, and it's making me some money, I can pay my bills, but it's not the full potential. If I touch on this hour, so if you sleep and fall, how do you pick yourself up and bounce back?
Great questions. You've actually asked about 3 questions in one, and that's great. Great question. So, what to do while you are paying the bills is to be conscious of not allowing your life to be just about paying bills. Is yes, you are paying bills, so you are rested, you are assured that these things will be sorted. And so that's where you now start exploring other things. You don't drop it. For example, my first book, it's titled Get Mad. I mean, Get Mad doesn't mean get crazy. MAD means make a difference. I was writing that book while I was rounding off my stay as a senior manager in the last firm that I worked. So yes, I was paying the bills, but I was also
trying to venture.
Yes, trying to venture. So it's important to do that. Now, if you've now touched something, you are paying bills, and you think that there's another thing you should be involved in that should elevate you, it is important to pay attention to really understanding it, to ask yourself, is this just passion or this is business? Passion is you feel good doing it. Business is you feel good doing it, and then you earn something for doing it. Right? And so that's what you want to look at. And to ensure that even if you've now picked something, now this is an extension of your question. If you have picked something that is paying the bills, for some people who say, if I was still single, it would be easy for me to make the choice. But now you have children, you have school fees to think of, not just rent, and their food and every other thing to think of. What to consistently pay attention to is not just to wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm moving on, without thinking of your primary constituency, who you're primarily responsible for, is to gradually also do a transition. Gradually do a transition. But nothing should stop anyone, as you are listening to me today, nothing should stop you from fully maximizing your potential. As you are listening to me today, there are people who know that what they are doing currently is not what is giving them satisfaction and fulfillment. You know that the reason you are doing what you are doing is because of the bills. And you need to pay the bills. Now, let me let you know that you are right. You need to pay the bill. And I celebrate you for paying the bill. And because of people like you, I'm releasing a song on 1st of May, the Workers' Day.
Okay.
The song is titled We Show Up.
Okay.
By the way, this is the first time I'm saying it on any radio station.
On Labor Day.
Yeah. So because you are showing up, thank you very much. But you need to do more than show up. Because your life is not just that you're a father. Your life is not just that you are in the career, whichever career you are in. You know deep down that there are other things to explore. So why don't you do a few things? Number one, look for a group of people who are already doing this thing that you want to do. And then try and spend, even if it's once a week, 1 hour a week, look for them and spend with them. Now, these people, you may get them physically, but I can be sure that you will most likely get them virtually. There are many things. You can go on YouTube, you can go on online. No matter what it is that you think you want to do that you've not started doing, there is someone who has created a content around it. Whether you want to be a chef, you want to be a plumber, whatever it is, there's someone who's created a content about it. Continue to interact with that content. Let me tell you something I did some time ago. I'm talking about music now. I actually left music for a long time. I became very rusty on the piano. And I just thought that, you know what? If you need to bring this thing back, then I went to buy a piano. That was the beginning of my progress. So once in a while in my house, I would switch on the piano. I would play. And months down the line, I resumed writing songs. Months down the line, I have 2 songs on YouTube now, and they are doing very well, right? And then I wrote those songs. Now, if I didn't go back to getting the piano, which was the spark, I probably would have just been talking about music and talking about it. So find yourself do something around it, right? Also, surround yourself with people. Last month, we had a musical, a stage play. By the way, the book, No More Shrinking, was adapted to a stage play last month to celebrate International Women's Day. The people that some of the superstars that you all know that you watch in Nigeria, were on the production. And how did it happen? It's just relationships as well. So another thing you want to do is keep relationships. And in building relationships, dig your well before you are thirsty. So maybe yours is acting, for example, and there you've not gone for any auditioning and you don't know anybody. If you see a group of people putting something together, show up and support them. Now you are making money, right? Put your hand in your pocket, do something, to support them. Buy tickets, watch. When you watch, greet them afterwards. Bond with them, not just for social media content. Bond with them gradually. There's this statement we say back in Nigeria, in my own language. I'm sure you have something similar to that. That when a leaf stays longer on soap, that the leaf becomes soap. I'm sure you have something, something like that. That when a leaf stays longer. So it's just talking about association, because your association can elevate you, right? So look for the right people. Stay around them. And when you go, don't always be asking for what you want to collect. No. Don't just be collecting. Give. And give your time, give your money, give your advice, and with that, things will get better.
Interesting. And maybe let me bring you back to the meeting which is happening on Saturday.
Yes.
When is it? At what time? What is the charges? Is it free? How can Kenyans access? What do you expect? What do they expect?
Okay, great questions. You've asked me like 3 in 1 as well. So yes, it's going down this Saturday at Ole Sereni. I got to know that Sereni is serenity in Swahili. Am I correct? Okay, so I'm learning Swahili. So at Ole Sereni Hotel, right here on Mombasa Road on Saturday. There are 2 sessions. There's a morning session, that's for emerging leaders, where we'll be talking about emotional intelligence. Then later on in the evening is the Women and Leadership Dinner, where we're talking about no more shrinking. And by the way, some female Kenyans will be receiving an award that evening. By the way,
I know them.
You know them. We'll be celebrating them. That evening. So what to expect? A great time of learning, of networking, of celebration. There will be food. No. There is a pot. Yeah, there will be food. So it will be a great time of learning, of connecting, of celebration, as well. There's a ticket for it. anyone interested, you can just send us an email. I can direct it to an email. The email is team@tppafrica.com. But hold on. I'm just thinking. If you are listening to me right now, you can win a free ticket. I'm in a good mood on this show. So because I'm in a good mood on this show, we are giving 5 free tickets.
Great.
Yes, to anyone listening right now. 5 free tickets.
Awesome.
Let me tell you what to do. Just bring out your phone, go on Instagram, follow Abiola Champ. It is ABIOLACHAMP. That's M for mango. Follow Abiola Champ on Instagram. Then send a DM. Say, hey, I listened to you on the show. Just say whatever about it, and then we'll get a ticket across to you. I mean, I'm feeling good on this show. So five tickets.
5 tickets. Up
Five
for
tickets.
grabs.
Yes, 5 tickets up for grabs. So whether you're a man, you're a woman, young, old, whoever you are, so far you're committed to growing. We're giving this to you for free, and who knows, you may win one of the books that we're talking about on the show today, as well.
Great. And I see here Women in Leadership Dinner.
Yes.
And the theme will be how women can unleash untapped creativity and market growth with the 21st century intelligence. You see the problem here, and I want us to handle it quite in your own way.
Yes.
Just the other day, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kenya highlighted a shifting landscape where women are increasingly visible both as victims and participants of corruption. So they are being viewed as women as drivers of corruption. Is it the men that set the wrong precedent, or is it retrievable?
Great question. Corruption has no gender nomenclature, right? There are men that are corrupt. There are women that are corrupt. There are young people that are corrupt. There are old people, senior people that are corrupt.
A lot.
I wanted to say something, but I'm not sure. I wanted to say there are politicians that are corrupt and there are politicians that are not corrupt, but I'm not sure about that statement. But I'm sure about the other ones that I've made. So the fact that 10 women have done something should not define what women can do or what women cannot do. That is a fallacy of generalization. Statements like all women are or every man is, it's generalization. And it shows that we're not intellectually querying our assertions, enough. Somebody may have a discovery and share that, this is what I'm seeing. 50 of these women have done this. But generally, from what we've seen in the world, somebody said that the reason every language has the word thief is because there's a thief in every language. Right? So, there are men that are corrupt, there are women that are corrupt, and so corruption is not gender specific. But what we should make sure we don't do is, especially those who have platforms, is we should make sure we don't project our bias as though that is the common knowledge and common reality. No, that's what we should avoid as much as possible. So are there women that are corrupt? By the way, in my personal experience, my first 2 jobs, I had female bosses, right? These 2 bosses were not great bosses. I mean, they were some of the worst bosses I've ever met, right? I've ever worked with. Now, I had male bosses. Some of those male bosses too were, not the kind of people I pray anybody should be led by. But I also had a great male boss. Now, in my experience, I never had a great female boss, but I had a great male boss. Now, if I'm paintbrushing the whole world with the hurt and the pain from my experience, I will not be as effective as I am today, because when we check the people that are actually pushing the work that we do more are women and not men. I mean, look at the flyers you have with you. You only have one woman. I mean, you only have one man on that, and then you have 3 females. That just speaks to it. So many times we may be robbing ourselves of our possibility, of our value, of the value we'll derive, of the success that we will enjoy if we allow the pain of our past to determine how we interact with those who look like those that hurt us in the future. And that's the biggest thing we should all consider here.
Wow. What about the youth? Where do they fall? Because youth actually practice what we call peep and learn in leadership. Where do they fall, and how do they narrow down? Because I believe sometimes you don't have to grow so old to actually narrow down what you want to focus on. What do you speak to the young people?
I like the question you've asked, and let me tell you why you've asked the question. Because since we started this interview for the first time, you made reference to my generation as a Gen Z that I am. Please, if anybody's in doubt, that's their problem. If anybody's in doubt, that's their problem. But as a Gen Z, that I am. What's our role? Our role is to understand that our energy is great. But our energy will not be for long, because there are some people who came before us who had energy as well some years ago. But now it's biological, right? It's nothing, it's just biology. So what to now ensure we do is that this energy we have today, we channel it to do things that are sustainable, not just things that we feel like doing, not just things that are trending, not just things that are popular, but things that are sustainable, because it's an investment, that we need to make with it. Now, that said, secondly, is that as we continue to observe the world and we observe leaders, it is important for us to start to sift, to choose who we want to be based on how we're looking at them. It is one of the easiest things to do is to complain about a leader. But one of the most effective things to do is to put a mirror in front of yourself. So as a young person right now, you are not the leader of the country. You are not the leader of a state. You are not the leader of a big business. You may be running your small business. Maybe you are even the only staff. Or you have two people that are working with you. As a young person, I want you to pay attention to how you treat those two people working with you today. It is not when you have 200 staff that it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem from where you are now if you are not treating them with utmost respect and dignity. Because those that we are criticizing today, they grew into poor leadership. Some of them were applauded for generating results, but they were losing people, which is why there are a lot of complaints about them today. So as a young person, you want to tell yourself that I don't want to grow up to be like this person that I'm seeing. And so rather than complaining about them, rather than ranting about what they are doing wrong, using our energy to do that, let's consolidate our energy into improving on ourselves so that we don't become tomorrow what we condemned today.
Great. Anyway, I think you've really captured it very well. And so I want us to go for a break because of time. When you come back after the news and continue with our discussion, of course, you're listening to Dr. Abiola Salami, a guy who is leading a revolution in telling you what you should learn and what you should do, making you a better leader, better person in future. And of course, this Saturday they have a very, very big meeting, the TPPF East Africa Women in Leadership Dinner 2026. And of course, there's also TPF East Africa, of course, Emerging Leadership Summit at Ole Sereni. So you've heard him. We'll come back after the news. Keep listening. It's 25 minutes past 5 o'clock. Of course, we are still in the studio with my good friend, Dr. Abiola Salami. We will continue with this part of our discussion in a few minutes, and then we play for you a nice mix of music later. And also we have a couple of other things we need to tackle in the evening before 6 o'clock. So, Dr. Abiola, karibu sana. Do you know Swahili now?
Yeah? Gradually. So my response is supposed to be Asante. Hope I got that right.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Perfect.
Yeah. You know, in Nigeria, we don't have Swahili.
No.
Yeah. You speak Yoruba or...
I speak Yoruba.
You speak Yoruba. Ah, nice. I know Yorubas are like Luos in their behavior.
Well, I don't know what that means.
You are flashy, proud, and a big spender.
Well, in a sense, some part of that is true.
Which one are you eliminating?
Some part of that is general.
It doesn't come from the tribe. It's just general.
Some part of it is general. So.
Yeah.
But what I know is we show up for our people.
Yes.
No. We show up for our people.
They do. Yeah.
We show up for our people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are celebrating something,
Yeah.
I know, we show up for you.
Yeah, they step up.
We show up for you. We show up for you in the background and also in front.
Wow. Yeah.
But what most people will see is the one in front.
In front.
Yeah. We show up.
So you see, it's they're like Omabe boys.
Yes. Like Omabe boys.
But not frivolity. Not I mean that's another level and some other people.
Yeah.
But I will show up for you. You can count on that.
So in your book, The Magic of Emotional Intelligence, I see that you have touched on 4 key pillars, which include self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. How do you break them down?
So, that part of emotional intelligence is not my original work. It's the work of a gentleman called, a very senior man, although I say he's a gentleman, Daniel Goleman, right? So that is his work, but I know of it, so I won't claim what's not mine, but I know about the work. But let me comment on the work that he did. He had said that you can divide emotional intelligence into 4 parts, and which is true. And many of us, authors, experts in emotional intelligence, we all agree to this. First one, self-awareness, that emotional intelligence begins with the individual having an understanding of themselves, understanding the triggers of your emotions, understanding not just that you get angry, for example, understanding what is it that somebody would say or do to you that will get you angry? That's an example. And the conversation is that when you understand the trigger of your emotion, that is the beginning of power for you. So, for example, I mean, all of us in this room, maybe when you were in primary school, you had a nickname. The most likely reason that nickname stuck is because the first time somebody called you that name to tease you, you were upset. You reacted, no, don't call me that name. And then everybody, they saw your reaction. They were excited about it. They want to always get you to react that way. So they continue to say it. And after a while, it got stuck. Such that you may see a friend of yours who was in primary school with you, maybe 20 years ago or 30 years ago. You may not remember his real name again. But you remember it's a nickname that you would remember. Now, it's because that was a trigger. And so that trigger point, because when people know your trigger, but you don't know your trigger, they will continue to press it. In fact, I colloquially call it mumu button. I mean, since I know you watch Nollywood, so you know what mumu button is. So I say they are pressing your mumu button, and the moment, and they will continue to press it to get their own response. So self-awareness says, understand the triggers of your emotions, understand how your emotions happen. The next level is self-management. That now says, based on your knowledge of your emotions, of how you feel, of what people do that gets you angry, of what happens that make you feel fear, because fear is just a feeling, it's not real. Somebody said fear is false expression appearing real. The feeling of fear, right? So now that you know it, you can now, self-management is you develop the capacity to choose what you do. And that's the biggest thing, the biggest word there. You choose what to do so that you can always put your best foot forward. So for example, let's say that you have stage fright. You have stage fright, for example. And then self-awareness is that, whenever I'm called to speak on this topic and this kind of people are in the room, I always feel this fear. Or whenever I'm in this room and I need to speak and then some kind of people sit in front, I will feel this fear. So if I have people that are supportive in front of me, I will most likely not feel the fear. That is now self-management. So if you can influence it, you make sure that the people that are sitting in front are people that are supporting you, So the first few words you say, they cheer you up, and with that you continue. I mean, the entertainment world likes to use that a lot. A lot of times, you see a celebrity on the red carpet, and people are screaming and shouting. If you ask some of those people screaming and shouting for the name, no, not just what's going on. What's the name of that celebrity? They may not have a clue, but they were a rented crowd. But they were a rented crowd, that they brought in just to make sure everything goes well. So self-awareness is I understand my emotions and the triggers of my emotions. Self-management is based on my understanding. I choose what I say and what I do in order to achieve my goal. You see, these first two parts is what it calls about self, personal. That is for me, what I should do. That is me relating with me. The second part is me relating with other people. So which is where social awareness now comes in as the first one. That the same way I understand the triggers of my emotions, that I should pay attention to understanding other people as well. That's where empathy comes in. Empathy says seek first to understand before you are understood. Empathy says use your 2 ears more than you use your one mouth. You and I know that there are people, the way they use their mouth is as though the ear does not exist. Right, the talk, no listening. You know, a synonym of conflict is misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. If you break it down, misunderstanding. So meaning that the reason many conflicts happen is because the two people are not listening to each other. I think I'm right. You think you are right. I don't want to concede that you are right. I'm the only one that is right, and
So
then
conflict.
So self-awareness, social awareness is understanding other people, paying attention to understanding them. And with understanding, it helps us to limit our biases and prejudices. I hear that there are 45 tribes, 45 ethnic groups rather, in Nairobi. Kenya. Now, I don't know about all of them, but based on my experience as a sociologist and anthropologist, there's a possibility that if you're from ethnic A and you're not from ethnic B, there are ways people from ethnic A can describe people from ethnic B that is funny to the people of ethnic A. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay. And that's largely fueled by biases and prejudices. Oh, by the way, he had mentioned earlier that some people behave like some people, which that's part of what I'm saying. But you see, when we pay attention to observing and listening to other people, some of those things that look like a difference, that is funny to us, that is not funny to them, some of those things that come from a place we may find difficult to accept as biases and prejudices, it helps us to develop effective relationships with them. Case in point, some time ago, there was this manager. This guy is very brilliant. And so they now promoted him to becoming a manager, meaning he's not just doing technical work, he's now responsible for a whole team. On his team, he had 70% Christians, 30% Muslims. This guy was a Muslim. Now, because of his upbringing, a lot of things that they've told him, he did not know that he was biased towards his own religion. So he couldn't lead the people that didn't share the same religion with him effectively. This is unconscious. It wasn't a conscious decision he made. It's unconscious for him. It is in the course of our coaching session that this was now revealed, that the reason your team is not working well is because you tend to have a bias. So you extend opportunities to these people without extending opportunities to these other people. And what does that do on your team? It polarizes your team.
Disconnect.
Right? They disconnect. So social awareness is you understanding not just the ones you are familiar with. So because he was Muslim, so he was familiar with Muslims, but also the other people on your team as well. Now, if your job is as a religious leader, it doesn't matter. But if you are in the secular world, if you're in corporate sector, and you need to lead people from multiple religions, multiple gender, multiple culture, it is important to cultivate social awareness so that you can drive performance on your team. And finally, the fourth part is relationship management, which is now using the knowledge you have about people to build effective relationships with them. One of the errors we commit in relationship in relationships, and not just romantic relationships, in all relationships, is we're always looking for where we are different. And we make where we are different, we think we are superior to the other person or to the other people, using our point of differences. Whereas we can look for the thing that one thing we agree on and make it 100% of our relationship. Build an effective relationship, understanding the place of digging your well before you are thirsty. Understanding that you don't always ask for a hand without touching the heart first. Understanding that people will not get along, people will not go along with you except they get along with you. Understanding that you may have your differences, but there is a way you engage with people that they want to continue to work for you, not using your authority as a leader, but using your influence. When you use authority, people will do it because they have to do it. When you use your influence, people will do it because they want to do it. It's a difference.
Wow. And where do you said you are Gen Z? So where do they, as they are learning, where do they, where are they supposed to use and differentiate between influence and authority? Because again, it's president and what they see in society. You see, Gen Zs in Kenya were very active last year, and they voiced concerns about what they had, issues with the government and everything, and staged a very successful protest. We've seen it globally everywhere. But where do you start taking your own right way and differentiate between influence versus authority?
Fantastic question. Thank you for once again referring to my generation. And by the way, Gen Z didn't only make headway in Kenya last year. I think this has been on since 2024. And the interesting thing is, anytime I'm around, it happens. It happens. It's just important for young people to know that learning is continuous. And so that you don't become tomorrow what you are condemning today, it is important you pay attention to how you are learning. Somebody gave a quote many years ago that many people repeat the quote, that the illiterate of the 21st century won't be about people that can neither read nor write, but people that cannot learn, which is acquire new information, relearn, which is what you know before you revise it, and unlearn, which is what you have learned before, but you don't need for your future, that you take it out of your system. So it is important that we understand that authority is about position, right? Influence is about relationships. There is a lot of transformation of value that you can create without relying on your title. Because when people do something because of your title, they are doing it because they have to do it. They do it grudgingly. They do it not because they want to.
Because they are compelled.
Because they are compelled to do it. When they do it because of influence, because of the relationship they have with you, they do it with joy and gladness. So for every leader out there, whether you are young or you are a senior leader, you want to always play more towards the place of influence, not the place of authority. Because when you play more towards the place of influence, that is where innovation comes out. That is where the ingenuity of your team members, that's where their problem-solving skills comes out. That is where they don't need to come and ask you always, what should we do? That is when they unleash their creativity. Understanding is about influence, not about authority.
I think you've really captured it very well, and because you've talked about the 3 books you've written, maybe you take us back to why did you decide you'd write books first, and in your tours of going through and basically speaking to people, have you spoken beyond Africa? On which other countries have you been? How has the tour been?
Okay, great question. The first question was about the book. Why did I decide to write the book?
Yes.
So, by the way, I have 7 titles now. And it's because there's that desire to create platforms to make it easy for people to know better, so they can think better and do better. So, for example, The Magic of Emotional Intelligence is a book that has traveled to places where my feet has not been. I've not been to Germany before, for example. I received mails from Germany about the value that Germans are obtaining from reading the book. Of course, yes, I've been to the US. But I received mails from the US from people leaders who are reading the book. I'm on Forbes Coaching Council, by the way, and I provide thought leadership on Forbes. And even from that, I get feedback from leaders across about the value that they are obtaining, from this, and how the work we're doing, has traveled. And so that's what continues to motivate me to say, you know what, this thing is helping some people. And many times when you create something and you don't have 1 billion people consuming it right there in your presence that you can measure, you may think you are not successful. But the moment you continue to receive feedback from different people, you know that this thing is really
moving.
It's really moving, and it's doing a great. It's solving problem. The other part, which other countries have I been? Let me start with Africa. Yes, of course, Nigeria. Our brothers, Ghanaians. Our brothers as well, Kenyans, because you were quick to say Ghana when I said our brothers.
Because Nigeria considers Ghana their small brothers.
Well, we don't call them that. When they want to, they call us big brother. Please just notice. And if you're a firstborn, I mean, remember the conversation yesterday. If you're a firstborn, for example, I'm a firstborn, right? And I lost my dad at a young age. And so they start to call me, they say I'm the father of the house. But I was never deceived by that statement, because I know that the only time I'm described as the father of the house is when they want me to provide, when they want me to send money.
It's intentional.
Because when you are now supposed to behave like a son or a daughter, then you remember that, no, you're just my senior brother. So, like I said, when they want to, they will say, oh, our big brothers, I bet. But I don't even think that way. I remember attending the program, and there was a minister there, and the minister realized that there were Nigerians in the room. And so he said, oh, well, since our big brothers are in the room, I was wondering, and we have a debate on which jollof rice is, and we've added Kenya to that conversation about
who has the best jollof.
The conversation starts.
And it continues, and I don't think it will ever end. So Ghana, Kenya, starting from Nigeria, South Africa, as well, Morocco as well, Marrakesh, Morocco. We're hoping that we'll cover more countries in East Africa: Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Ethiopia. Hoping to cover more countries on the African continent. Yes, the US, we've done some great work there, but our primary focus is actually Africa. And we hope to continue to expand and consolidate on this, because the more Africans we see ourselves truly for who we are, the better we are, both as individuals and as a continent. And then you don't have anybody bringing something that is not superior and painting it to us as if it's superior. Let me share this with you. Last week, I was watching the proceeding in a particular legislative house in Europe, and they were practically insulting themselves. These are the leaders of the country, because they share a different opinion. And because of the benefit of technology in 2026, we could watch that proceeding. But some 50 years ago, there was no technology. So we couldn't see how they were behaving. But when those people move to other countries in Africa, they will present to us that they have the best conduct. And then we will call what they are presenting to us as best practice. Whereas they were lying to us. Whereas it was a lie. Right? And that continues to let me know that on this continent, we are courageous people. We are talented people. We are great people. And we should not allow anybody to make us feel inferior. Because no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The moment you see a white man stroll past, and then you think the person is better than you because of the color of their skin, that is the beginning of defeat for you as an African. You are talented. You are better. I went to Harvard. In my class, I had white people, I had black people. I realized that. And then, by the way, black people, black Americans, and then the black Africans. Because some people also still try to differentiate between the two. Some of us had some of the best ideas in the class to contribute. So it had nothing to do with the color of our skin. It's about the content of our brains. And so a lot of brilliant Africans, you are out there, let nobody make you feel inferior. As you are listening to me today, in case you are not even taking anything from this conversation, remember that I said you should never, ever allow anyone to make you feel inferior. You are great, you are wonderful, you continue to learn and grow, and you continue to make a huge, positive, significant difference in this country, on this continent, and in the world.
Okay. I think you've really captured it very well. Of course, that's Dr. Abiola Salami, the peak performer TPP Africa Emerging Leader Summit is this Saturday at Nairobi Ole Sereni Hotel. And of course, there's also TPP East Africa Women in Leadership Dinner 2026 at the same venue. So there'll be many people. Of course, my good friend Liz Nasaka will be there.
Yeah.
So I want us to close because of time. Your final comments and thoughts, Daktari?
Okay, great. Here's my final comment to every young African right out there. Never allow anyone to make you feel inferior. Never allow anyone to make you think your culture is inferior so that their idea is civilization. You have civilization right inside of you, not what anyone will give to you from a foreign land. Also, commit to taking personal responsibility for your success and for your growth. And this is for everyone, whether you are young or you're a senior person, whether you are male or you are female, whatever is in your heart to make a positive contribution, commit to doing it. Whether you don't have the money to run it or not is not the important thing, because many times the problem is not the resources we don't have. Many times it's that we are not resourceful in finding the things we need. Build relationships. Be there for people. Don't always look for what you want to collect. Give. It's not just money you can give. You can give your time. You can give your talent. Support people in your community. Be a great ambassador of your family. Be a great ambassador of your country as well. If you find yourself in politics, make sure you are responsible. Make sure you care for the community and you help everyone grow. Until the next time, always remember that I love you. I believe in you. And I look forward to celebrating your greatness. And I hope you followed Abiola Champ on Instagram and you've sent the DM so that you can get your free ticket to attending the East Africa Summit this Saturday at Ole Sereni. Till the next time, till I see you there, keep rocking your world like a champion. That's how we say it.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Dr. Abiola Salami, for showing up and, of course, for those brilliant words. We wish you a blessed stay in Nairobi and, of course, as you do your duties. And when you go to Lagos, I have very many friends there.
Great.
I have very many friends there.
Fantastic.
When I come to Lagos, I always come to Lagos.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been there since we've been chatting?
I've been there. I've been even to Cross River State. I've been to.
Okay. Your next visit.
I've been to many parts of Nigeria.
Fantastic.
So I know some people there. I go to Ikeja very well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my zone.
I go to Ikeja very well.
That's my zone.
I go to VI very well. Yeah. So I know the. You might meet me in the streets.
If I see you on the streets, I'll just say, okay, hi, you look familiar. Until you speak, say, that is you.
Yeah. But I love my orishi and pepper soup.
I think you need to close this show. No, because the place you are going now, you love the orishi.
Yes.
I placed an order yesterday from I found a Nigerian restaurant.
Yes.
Then I placed an order and it showed up with orishi.
I tell you, Welcome very well, Daktari. Thank you very much. Listeners, we've been talking to Dr. Salami of Abiola, and he has a very big show on Ole Sereni, of course, on leadership, TPF, East Africa, Emerging Leaders Summit, and of course, TPP, East Africa Women in Leadership Dinner 2026. And the speakers would be Dr. Abiola Salami himself, and Muraya, and of course, Agnes Lutukai, and there's also Pai Gamde, an enterprise architect there. So make sure that you attend. Keep listening.